Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studios in Madison, this is Kyle Brust and Nordman, KBN. Sponsored by Bud Light on ESPN Wisconsin, ESPN Madison on YouTube, and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Kyle Wallace feels violated. Kyle Brust and Nordman across ESPN Wisconsin. I'm Ben Brust alongside Packer backer Kyle Wallace, repping some 2021 NBA championship gear of the Milwaukee Bucks. Is that a boycott against the pick?
No, not a boycott. No, this is a celebration.
Salacious accusation.
All right, this is a celebration for 4:30. The Bucks play. I get to watch the Bucks game. You're going to take it over the show. So
yes, sir.
I'm just dressed and prepared to cheer on my Milwaukee Bucks. Nothing better than KBN getting you ready for the Milwaukee Bucks playoff game tonight.
Brad Nortman, longtime NFL punter, Super Bowl 50 runner-up. No punters in the first round, no Torrey Taylor, but will he go day two?
I think he will go day two. I think a punter, this is another step toward punters are people too. Punters are taken on day two as well.
I don't like punters are people too. It should be punters are actually valuable too.
Yeah, that's sort of the
on the football
the joke.
field.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's, punters, I think we're going to get a punter name tonight. I'm also wearing Milwaukee Bucks things today, Kyle, because I'm putting my feet up. I'm turning my mic off at 4:30, letting you handle the show, Ben. We're watching the Milwaukee Bucks play.
4:30 to 5 o'clock, the Ben Brust half an hour. Can't wait to be ready to go. Alex Strofe, I know, is excited to watch the game as well. He is our new producer. You going to turn those things up on the board? What are you doing back there?
Trying to get your show ready, Ben.
All right, love that. That's a good answer. That is a good answer. 800-990-3776 for any and all reaction on the ESPN Wisconsin Talk and Text line. You can also get us on YouTube at ESPN Madison or at ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube. Scheduled to appear, Brian Bulaga, who's selecting or announcing the second-round picks for the Green Bay Packers today. Mark Tauscher, Packer Hall of Famer as well. Tackle talk, baby. Tackle talk. As the Green Bay Packers yesterday stood pat at 25 and selected Jordan Morgan, the tackle, who isn't the sexy pick, but is a pick that made Kyle feel violated.
Yeah, man. I'm just frustrated with Goody. With the fact that this just seems like over and over, right? I knew it was too good to be true. We were texting last night. It was too good to be true. We're sitting here watching. The whole state of Wisconsin wanted one guy. We're all excited about one guy. And it doesn't take for us to have to be general managers, us to have to do all the scouting to realize what talent is, right? We may not know what ceilings are for guys, but we know what football players look like. And so I'm sitting there watching. I'm seeing kind of the draft board fall perfectly for a team that needs defense. We talked about it. What did Ben say? What did Tommy DeVito do to this defense?
I said a lot of things.
He got it. He ran up and down. He shredded him. We understand.
I say he looked like Michael Vick.
Yes, he looked like we let Tommy DeVito look like Michael Vick. The defense has been the issue for this organization during the time of Aaron Rodgers and also for the time of Jordan Love that we had in last season. And then we saw a whole bunch of offensive players, record number of offensive players, go off the board right away, and it was shaking out to be perfect. Oh, my gosh, the Packers got to fix the defense. And look what the man upstairs did. He allowed for the Packers to have an opportunity to try to start the process in the first round to fix that issue. And what did Goody do? He did exactly what Goody always does. And so my frustrations, I felt violated because I felt like Goody playing tricks with us in the press conference, talking about how good Cooper DeJean is and all that. No, he was just playing mime tricks with us. And what does he do? He drafts an offensive lineman. Ain't did that in many, many years. He hadn't did that to protect Aaron Rodgers. But all of a sudden, he gets his guy, the guy I love in Jordan Love, and he invests in an offensive lineman for Jordan Love, ignoring the big need that we have on the defensive side of the ball while you're transitioning from a 3-4 to a 4-3 defense. This was just, it was what Goody does best. He just does what Goot does, man. He thinks he's the smartest guy in the room.
What I do want to say to Kyle is on Twitter at KBN ESPN yesterday, I believe we put up a poll. And for the last month, it is in Goody we trust or still prove it to me. And Kyle, you were in in Goody we trust.
Can I revote?
We put it up again today, so you can revote for if you are in Goody we trust, or would you want to still see him prove it to you? What I am laughing at from Kyle is the fact that when we look at the first round picks, right? We look at Stokes, we look at Devontae Wyatt, we look at Quay Walker, we look at LVN. And then we look at taking a tackle here, and we're freaking out when the guys that Goody drafted on day 2 and day 3 have been the ones that have been impacting this team from a big standpoint.
That's the problem.
I tend to agree that I want him to hit on the first round. But as Goot Stan, as I am right now, compared to Kyle, I love the fact that he's doing what Kyle said. He is building offensive line depth for what is going to be a huge investment in Jordan Love. And if you are talking about Zach Tom potentially moving to center, and if Jordan Morgan can potentially, not maybe year one, maybe he needs to be a swing tackle. Maybe he just needs to get reps before you feel comfortable replacing Rasheed Walker at left tackle, moving him to right. You get Jordan Morgan at left tackle, Rasheed Walker at right tackle, Zach Tom at center, Elton Jenkins inside, John Runyon and Sean Ryan, not John Runyon, goodness gracious, Sean Ryan, you got a line there. But guess what? You also have flexibility. You have options. You have depth because you have all these weapons that everyone's excited about. And what can you not do when you don't have a team that can protect your investment? You can't get the ball out of your hands to those guys running in Matt LaFleur's
wasn't
system.
an issue. You know what you can do also? The Packers have shown one thing. We had Aaron Rodgers. We ain't outscoring teams to win championships. We need to fix the defense. All what you said is fine and dandy and great, but if you put up 30 but the other team puts up 45, you ain't going to win a championship. We still have time. But yesterday
I love the mental mind game going on in his head.
Yesterday was a lot of disappointing because of the fact that we had an opportunity for the Packers to actually draft some pieces were much needed on the defensive side of the ball.
I think it's fair to say that based off what Goody did last year, I don't think he gets a lifetime pass, but for me, I'm giving him the 1-year pass to do this draft however he freaking wants. Because you know why? He crushed it last year. And if he had Jordan Morgan rated higher than anybody and they had the pick in right away because they loved it and wanted their guy, based off of last year, I give him a 1-year benefit of the doubt. And there's still a lot of capital and a lot of stuff to be done for the Green
Ben
Bay.
Stallin's a flip-flopper now.
No. How have I flip-flopped? I believe
You're
in
a Goody stand now. Look at that. He's a stand now.
I have to be since you're the fake Packer backer.
Yeah,
Josh DiMaggio chimes in. Packer backer poser. Kyle Wallace is backpedal Wallace again. 800-990-3776. Want your reaction. Kyle Bruston Ortman. Kyle and I reacting emotionally. We go to the level-headed one, the one who played in the NFL, the one who's got a CPA, the one who's got a master's degree. We go to Brad Nortman next.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that segue, Ben. Now, guys, I want you to think for a moment here. What is your most important, personally speaking, what is your most important asset that you have outside of your relationships? Because those are the most important. But like financially, what's your biggest and most important asset?
Right now, I'm at home.
Your home?
Home
and a home. Home. Let's go with the
My
home.
retirement.
Retirement could.
I don't want to do this show with you guys forever.
You could definitely make an argument for your investment account by protecting it with a password. But the moment that you identify and acquire your most important asset, let's go with the home. The next thing that you have to do, you have to protect it. That's the most important thing you need to do before.
Like AmFam.
Exactly, like AmFam. Like if you wanted to protect your home, you call AmFam and you protect it with insurance, with security, with all the things you need to do. Because guys, let's be honest. Let's say you get your home, right? You want to do all these things to it, all these flashy things, right? You want to put in the theater, you want to put in a fire pit, you want to furnish it. That's all great. You can do that. Is that in your budget, Kyle and Ben? Kyle, your face is like, what?
The theater. I said, I wish.
You all these flashy things that you want to do. You want to make your lawn awesome. None of that is worth a darn if the house isn't intact. The house always needs to be the focus. It always needs to be protected. That is the very first and the very most next important thing you do once is you acquire and identify your most important asset. That's exactly what Goody did right here. Goody looked at his asset. What's the Packers' most important asset?
Jordan Love.
Jordan Love. He said that is our most important asset. My next thing to do is I need to protect it because we've seen, like your home, like all the peripheral things you want to do to the home, if you can't protect it, none of that stuff matters. Look at the New York Jets last year. Hey, we got receivers. Hey, we got a defense. Hey, we got our quarterback. None of it mattered because they couldn't protect him. They couldn't keep him safe.
And you know what they're doing now, Brad?
Now
they signed two 33-year-old vets. They just drafted a left tackle,
Yep.
and They should have done it last year.
Fellas,
So because of that, Goody did the prudent and practical thing. He insured his asset. He protected it. And now that that's taken care of, now you can move on to the other things. And maybe you
get sexy. Build a great room like in the Nortman estate.
And
get a lodge room.
And maybe you can't buy the $5,000 amazing grill, but you can get a $1,000 one that's super good, like Cooper DeJean in the second round.
They got capital. Still get a $3,000 grill in day two.
But you gotta protect it first, because if you don't do that, then none of the other stuff matters. So it was the right decision by Goody.
Josh DiMaggio chimes in. Speak dirty to me, Norty.
When I look at it, though, you're talking about different things. When you look at this offensive line, the Green Bay Packers offensive line, there's not a first-round pick that's starting on that offensive line. There's not. And you know what? This offensive line, yes, can it get improved?
It doesn't mean that it's a bad thing to invest in one of the most important positions.
To invest, but we talked about it just yesterday. What have the Packers been really, really good at developing? Quarterbacks and what?
Offensive line.
They've been able to make the most. Zach Tom, he wasn't a sexy first-round pick. He was a fourth-round pick. Elton Jenkins, second-round pick. David Bakhtiari, a fourth-round pick. These are guys that the Packers have shown that they can draft and they can develop guys into starters, into all-pros, into Pro Bowlers. They can do that. But defensively, this is why the Packers continue to swing, and miss, hit, miss, hit on defense. The Packers needed to continue to swing for defense more in this draft because of the fact of the transition. Again, we still have day 2 and day 3, but it would have been nice for us to land somebody that had high potential on the defensive side.
The way the draft played out in a way where you saw league-wide where the best value was in this draft. It was at the wide receiver, quarterback, and tackle position.
Yeah, and not every draft is the same way. There might be a draft year where you've got 30 offensive linemen that are all NFL capable, right? That's when you can get a guy in the 4th round, the 6th round. Rob Domofsky went on the draft show last night and said that this is very top-heavy for offensive linemen. There's like a good 8, and after that, huge drop-off. So if you're going to get it, you better get it early. So I think that's where Goody said,
second
this is
round
my
is still
opportunity
early,
to do it
fellas.
now.
It is. Again, I'm not going to overreact.
Second round's still early, fellas. That's what Goody can do for your defense.
Exactly.
I'm not going to overreact, but just know I have expectations.
Isn't that what you've been doing?
No, I haven't been overreacting. Well, I've been reacting to the fact that, again, this isn't anything against Jordan. I think Jordan's going to be a fine football player. I don't think he'll be a star football player. I'll be shocked if he moves to left tackle. Don't see that happening. But I'm just saying.
So now you've broken down all the film. You can have that take.
I broke down enough film. No, listen. Listen. This GM stuff. It ain't that hard. I'm telling you right now.
My God.
It ain't that hard. Okay.
It's pretty hard.
It's
pretty hard.
You're such a that's the
going deep. Listen,
that's maybe the dumbest thing you've said ever.
All right. Well, like I said, I showed you all the stuff that I've done before. It's not that hard to be able. If you play football, you know football. Granted, you're not going to figure out everything, but you can identify talent. And I'm not saying that Captain Jordan Morgan is not talented. What I'm saying is that there was other opportunities to probably get guys that may be able to make an instant impact on a position of true need. This is not a position of true need. This is a depth draft pick of a guy that can slide in and be a solid starter, but I wanted a guy that can give us production on the defensive side of the ball.
So, Kyle, let me ask you. Yesterday, Ben and I voted we still need to see more out of Goody. You were the lone one on this show that said, in Goody we trust. Now, that trust and that faith, that really gets tested when something happens that doesn't go to your preferences. Yeah. So are you still in Goody I trust?
Listen, you know what I found out about myself yesterday?
I
waver.
You just found that out?
I was always Goody.
You had an epiphany?
You know what Goody did? You know what I found out? Goody's a little. You know when you find out
a what?
Look. I don't know if I can say this word or not.
Say it.
A floozy. He's a floozy. That's
What's
what he
a floozy?
is. You know when you find
like a
out.
Scandalous woman.
Yeah, thank you. When you think she's great and then she's scandalous, that's he's scandalous.
We were literally talking about how at the combine we were pumped, and you were more pumped than anyone. Goody's got his chest out.
Yeah,
he's feeling himself.
And
guess what?
He played me.
He is not playing you. He's still being himself, and you're not truly believing in him.
That's the thing.
You know,
Goody doesn't give a dang either, because that pick went in like this. Boop. Like that quickly. They were on the
board
clock
fell
for
the way
like
we
10
wanted.
seconds.
We
Boom,
love
picks
this
in.
guy.
Yep.
Let's get it in there.
Okay,
I don't give a dang about your mock draft.
Do you guys
Goody
believe
says.
that this dude is a franchise left tackle? You got him at number 25. Do you think he's a franchise left tackle?
I don't know because I am still in the you need to prove it to me. I understand the pick because you're protecting Jordan Love.
Grading picks the day after, we can't tell you that. But what we do know is the belief that Goody had in Jordan Morgan, whether he was the 17th best available by Mel Kiper, who's been doing it 45 years, that doesn't matter. What matters is what Goody in the scouting division figured out and the way that they had that much confidence about getting a guy that fits the mold of what Elton Jenkins have been able to do. Play different positions on the offensive line. He may be a left tackle. He may end up being a right guard. He may end up being a left guard. But that's the beauty of what Goody's been able to do, finding his type of offensive lineman. He fits the Goody mold.
He never had to do it in the first round.
That's okay. So then he really believes in him, and you can hold this pick to a high standard.
No, this is what
moving forward. Keep your energy to yourself for 4 minutes. 800-990-3776. 800-990-ESPN. Kyle is such a baby. No, Dave from Aaron. Yeah, you're right. 800
Dave from Aaron, you're upset too. And again, I like Jordan, but I'm just upset. I want the coop.
Let's hear from Kyle Wallace about American Family Insurance because we need him to talk about insuring things and protecting things to understand why this was a great move by Brian Gutekunst to protect the most important asset of the Green Bay Packers, Jordan Love.
Yeah, no, the most important asset to Goody is Goody's own himself, his legacy. That's what he's protecting. That's exactly what he did with this draft. And you know what? You should be the same way when it comes to your home or it comes to your auto insurance because you need to make sure you are protected. And we all know there's a great team right here in the great state of Wisconsin, other than the Packers, that can protect you. That is American Family Insurance. And they know your family needs as well. That's why they make life better by protecting your dreams with outstanding home and auto policies. You can get individual ones. You can get it bundled. You can make a call. You can go to an office. You have so much access to that. But I'm telling you, do not go without insurance because insurance is something that you need to protect the assets you love the most. So insure carefully, dream fearlessly. American Family Insurance.
800-990-ESPN. I love the passion from KBN Nation. We get to your calls, we get to your texts, and we keep hearing from emotional Kyle and level-headed Brad and me somewhere just holding it all together. More Kyle, Brust, and Nortman across ESPN Wisconsin. Next.
You're listening to Kyle, Brust, and Nortman, KBN.
And I'm sure he'll offer this opportunity again.
Absolutely
what are you going to sell? What are you going to say to Ben Brust?
I'm saying you don't get your hand on my goddamn face. No, it's a no. I can say it in different languages. No.
Niche or whatever it is.
I don't know.
Nine. That's a firm way to say no.
Nine. Next time we say nine.
On ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
This is Kyle, Brust, and Nortman, sponsored by Bud Light on ESPN Wisconsin and Wisconsin On Demand.
You can drive cutting-edge design. 2024 Audis are on the lot and ready for delivery. You can save $7,500 on select Audi EVs with the AFS EV lease bonus. See dealer for details and exclusions. Eligibility is subject to credit approval through Audi Financial Services. Cannot be combined with National Customer Credit. Offer expires April 30th, 2024. Stop in and test drive today. Check out our website to see our current electric vehicle inventory and our monthly specials. The search for your Audi begins and ends at Zimbrick Audi of Madison, off the Beltline and Rimrock Road. Drive yours today.
Beautify your entertainment space with Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Hi, this is Gina Della from Pella. Turn your ordinary space into something extraordinary with brand new Pella windows. Plus, getting the perfect windows and doors for your home has never been easier. Right now, get 0% interest for up to 36 months, or no down payment, no interest, and no payments for up to 18 months if you book before April 30th. Take ownership of your living space and make it a place worth living with Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
Protect your dream home with American Family Insurance. And you can weather any storm. You'll also save up to 25% by bundling home, auto, and life. American Family Insurance. Get a quote. Find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Discounts may not apply to all coverages on an auto or home policy. Discounts do not apply to life insurance policies. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, American Family Life Insurance Company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
The GRB Rays have established themselves as one of the top baseball programs in the Midwest and the country. GRB Academy offers training programs for players of all ages and skill levels. Learn from some of the best baseball coaches in the area and find the program that fits your training goals and your schedule. Spots are filling up fast, so visit grbacademy.com to sign up now. That's grbacademy.com. GRB Academy, baseball for the serious player.
From color-changing alexandrite to shimmering zircon and everything in between at Chalmers Jewelers, you'll find high-quality, affordable, one-of-a-kind pieces. We source straight from the gem cutters, and we manufacture in-house from start to finish. As the manufacturer, we believe in truth in pricing. Never pay more for quality and stunning, beautiful jewelry. She's one of a kind, and so should her jewelry be. While others may send your jewelry dreams to someone else to make, with us, your dreams become reality with the help of our custom jewelers, with you involved the whole way. With a staff that has over 200 years of combined experience, why buy from a place that marks up jewelry made by the thousands? When you can buy direct from Chalmers for that one-of-a-kind piece that is better quality, often for less.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
And Madison.
Searching for the perfect brunch spot this weekend? Look no further than the Great Dane Pub and Brewing Company. Every Saturday and Sunday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., indulge in the Great Dane sweet and savory brunch menu paired with mimosas, Bloody Marys, or one of their signature beers on tap. Enjoy at any of their 4 Madison area pubs, downtown, Hilldale, Fitchburg, or East Madison. Learn more and view the full menu at greatdanepub.com/brunch. Great Dane Pub and Brewing Company, Madison's original brew pub since 1994.
If you've been injured, let our team help get you back in the game. Gruber Law Offices, a proud partner of the Milwaukee Bucks. Gruber Law Offices, one call, that's all.
Why are interscholastic sports called the last classroom of the day? Because they teach students important life lessons like teamwork, accountability, and perseverance.
Encourage your student to participate in the last classroom of the day. Interscholastic sports in Wisconsin.
falling behind what could be. Oh, bring me a higher love.
Let's go, Strofe. I like the eclectic Alex Strofe back there with the vibes. He's our new producer, Alex Strofe. I'm Ben Brust, next to Packer backer, flippity floppy Kyle Wallace, Super Bowl 50 runner-up, longtime punter Brad Nortman, and I'm just Ben Brust.
Hey!
800-990-ESPN. A lot of reaction from KBN Nation. Kyle has no idea what he's talking about. We have 4 picks today. Calm down. Jacob in the 262. Ron chimes in. Goody doesn't care about your mock drafts, Kyle. David chimes in. Kyle saying the GM position isn't hard is a top 5 dumbest thing you've said on KBN.
Hey, I mean, I'm telling you, maybe I should have a different career.
Kyle, if you're mad now, if the Bucks fall behind 3-1 and the Packers don't pick the guys you want, I feel Ben and Brad dealing with you on Monday. Touche.
Yeah.
Ben chimes in, not me, 800-990-ESPN. I normally either agree with or understand where Kyle is coming from when he gets all worked up. But this time, I don't agree at all. It wasn't sexy, but I like the pick. DeJean is still available in round 2. I'm glad we were making sure our future Hall of Fame quarterback stays healthy and protected. Powerful.
Y'all don't even know if he's good. Listen, watch this film. He's good. He's fine. There was just other things out there, fellas. I just
watch this film.
I
texted you at 11 o'clock. You weren't watching film. You were damn sleeping.
No, I did. I watched film and then it put me to sleep because all I saw was this Peter Petter. Oh, bull rush. Peter Petter. Oh.
It doesn't really get the juices flowing, I admit that. But maybe if we're going to keep the analogies going, it's like your birthday and you had this top thing on your birthday list and your parents got you something else. It's like, that's a fine gift, but I wanted something different.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is, Brad. Again, it's not Jordan.
But it's not about you.
No, it's about Goody.
This isn't about Kyle. And Kyle is making this draft about Kyle right now.
It's about
and
Goody.
I kind of respect it, but it's also crazy.
No, it's not. I'm telling you, it's about Goody and Goody wanting to protect not just about Jordan Love, but protect his ego, protect his legacy. The fact that Aaron Rodgers was your quarterback and you did not draft offensive lineman for him and you tried Billy Turner. That's what you did for Aaron Rodgers. And now all of a sudden, Jordan Love, who had a competent offensive line last season, you're going to draft offensive lineman again? I want offensive line, but my goodness, this is just not equity. It's not equal.
I do feel like part of me thinks that Goody likes being the wild card. Like not knowing, oh, you think I'm going this way? Just wait a minute and see me go this way. I don't think, like, part of him, I think, likes that imagery that nobody knows exactly what he's going to do.
I don't even think Goody's that. No. This is the blueprint of Goody. He had a high RAS score. He graded him like he normally grades other positions, and this fit up his alley. And he drafted a guy that fits what his blueprint is in the draft. So part of us wants to act like, oh, he's so tricky, this Goody, but really, it wasn't that tricky once you see why he picked him.
Well,
because in terms of offensive lineman, I think he was number 2 in both run and pass coming out of college.
Well,
from some grading perspective,
it has to be one or the other. Either he partially likes being the iconoclast, like going against the grain, or you're exactly right, Ben, where let's not forget, Goody, he was just a scout. You know what scouts do? They watch film for days and days.
They're
and
nerds.
Days. They're nerds. They shut the door.
They're football nerds.
They turn the lights down and they watch film. And they don't give a dang what anyone else thinks. They just watch the film.
Especially Kyle Wallace's mock drafts.
I thought Goody had grown after the last 2 years, and I allow for his first-round picks that he made, even though they haven't come to be what we had expected them to be. They have not the potential that we thought they had. They haven't come close to that potential. I thought, you know what, I'll give you grace because of what you did in the second round and later in both years. But it seems to me that he hasn't learned from his mistakes in the first round.
So Kyle,
he has not learned. Legitimately, he has not learned from his first round mistakes.
This is going to be fun. Just because Kyle Wallace doesn't like the pick is funny because, you know, he watched the tape last night. He wasn't that, inspired by it. But you know what I like to hear from? Bill Belichick was awesome last night. He was on Pat McAfee, and he had a pretty in-depth breakdown on Jordan Morgan. You know who is not Bill Belichick? Ben Brust, Alex Strofe, Brad Nortman, Kyle Wallace. Here was Bill Belichick breaking down Jordan Morgan, and I think it's really, really great.
But he's a left tackle all the way and played his senior year at Arizona last year for Jed Fish. And of course, Fish he tore his ACL and then came back. Great job of that Arizona program, put him in the top 10 after being the worst team in college football when he took over in 2021. But Jordan is really a high-quality kid, very smart, good pass protector, very athletic, and he'll be he's a good football player. He's a left tackle, and so I don't think there's any doubt about that. And he just needs to get a little bit stronger in the lower body, but this is a good football player. He's got a good future.
You think he needs to relax a little bit over there? The Green Bay Packers fan, Mad Mel, you think maybe relax just a tiny bit?
Well, I'm just saying, you know what the problem is when you don't have a tackle. They don't grow on trees. I mean, these guys that are 6'5", 315 pounds that are really athletic, this draft has a bunch of them, so this isn't a bad time to take one. And he's a good player. Morgan's a good player.
Okay, so we saw the Packers go with the tackle.
I'd say there's no way he was getting out of the first round. Okay. I think there were other teams that would have taken him if they didn't, so they probably,
And I hate to continue to bring up Josh DiMaggio's name from Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, Mornings 94.5 ESPN. I was texting with Joshy last night, and Joshy goes, he would have went in the first round if the Packers didn't grab him. And I literally was thinking to myself, Josh, you're just saying that because you're trying to justify the pick. And then I listened to my guy, Billy Belichick, say the same damn thing. I was, damn, Josh was right. And my takeaways there, good pass protector. That's really important for what we need for Jordan Love. He says he's a left tackle, so I like that Belichick thinks that. And then I hear Goody say he can play 4 positions, which means you can get him reps, acclimated with the system, and then when the time is right, move him left tackle and move Rasheed Walker. This is a guy he said he's a good football player 3 times. How many times have we talked about wanting to get a guy in the first round that is like a guy that can play? When Belichick, he continues to say he's a good football player and a good future, not like, he didn't, do this and, he's got to do, I liked hearing good football player from Bill Belichick. Tell me that didn't make you warm and fuzzy.
Well, Tom Brady knew good football because Bill Belichick was boo-boo without Tom Brady.
I mean, the Atlanta Falcons probably wish they had him right now.
Yeah, whatever. I mean,
you got to put some respect on Bill's name.
No, I'm going to put respect on his name. At the end of the day, listen, it's not about Jordan. He's a fine football player, but I just wanted somebody that was a position of need. When we look at that pick yesterday,
It's not about Kyle.
No, it's not about Kyle. It's about the Green Bay Packers. And granted, we don't know what these kids are going to be on the football field, but there's a level of excitement that you have when you're able to fill a gap and a hole and void that you guys said the Packers have a lot of different holes on their team. Offensive line was an area that you wanted to get depth in, but overall when it comes to like a position like safety, corner, linebacker, D-line, those are places
Maybe there's
we have
more
holes.
value early in the second round for those positions. Jason, the official bodyguard of Ben Brust, chimes in. Your boy Jason here. And what I want to know from Kyle is how many drafts he's conducted for an NFL team and how many NFL rosters Kyle's conducted. 0. Sit down and let the professionals handle it.
Not true. I was a young man, played Madden a lot. I had a lot of drafts, a lot of years. Probably got 30 years under my belt in Madden. Even played NFL head coach. Got a lot of years.
Kyle, on the clock in Madden.
Brian Bulaga, who will be making, and I wish he was making, or maybe Kyle wishes he's making the picks. He is announcing the picks at the NFL Draft. Well, let's get to the future Packer Hall of Famer, right tackle, Brian Bulaga, next. Ooh, what a bad tease.
This is Kyle Brust and Nortman.
Things ever happened to you from a breakup?
I don't want to talk about it.
Oh, no.
I don't want to talk about it.
You brought it, so I had to ask.
I ain't gonna put my old shorties on blast. But
why not? They're old shorties.
I've had some
old shorties.
My parents listen to this show. I don't want my parents to know the craziness that I've dealt with that they son been a part of.
On ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Ben Brust here from Kyle Brust and Nortman and tell you about the newest spike tee on the market, and that is Hoop Tea. And when I mean that it's the newest and best, it was born on the boardwalk of Ocean City, Maryland, and enjoyed now right here in Madison, Wisconsin. With flavors like an original spike tea. You have peach, you have mango, you have watermelon. Hoop Tea will make you feeling great with whatever flavor fits your profile. Hoop Tea. Enjoy the hoops on the screen and hoops in your hand. HoopTea.com. Must be 21 years or older to enjoy.
Suit up for the $800,000 Sports Car Series at Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee. April through May, score free play, cash, one of 4 new Toyota GR86s or a new Toyota Supra. Play with your club card to earn entries, 5 times the entries on drawing days, and when the Milwaukee Brewers play at home. Got what it takes? Slugger, only at Potawatomi. For more details, visit PaceBig.com/sportscar. Must be 21 and a club member to play.
Your first round pick is here. Unleash unbeatable deals at Metro Ford of Madison. Get into a 2024 Ford F-150 at 2.9% APR financing for 66 months. $16.41 per thousand borrowed. This deal available to qualified credit. Offers on the 2024 Ford Edge include 0% APR financing for 66 months. Before April hits the final round, score today at Metro Ford of Madison. Browse the inventory at metrofordofmadison.com.
From color-changing alexandrite to shimmering zircon and everything in between at Chalmers Jewelers, you'll find high-quality, affordable, one-of-a-kind pieces. We source straight from the gem cutters, and we manufacture in-house from start to finish. As the manufacturer, we believe in truth in pricing. Never pay more for quality and stunning, beautiful jewelry. She's one of a kind, and so should her jewelry be. While others may send your jewelry dreams to someone else to make, with us, your dreams become reality with the help of our custom jewelers, with you involved the whole way. With a staff that has over 200 years of combined experience, why buy from a place that marks up jewelry made by the thousands? When you can buy direct from Chalmers for that one-of-a-kind piece that is better quality, often for less.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
and Madison.
If you're like most people, you've had your fair share of financial questions. Questions like, can I afford my son's travel hockey team? What if my daughter doesn't get that soccer scholarship? Will I be able to enjoy golf in retirement? At Empower, we know these questions can be stressful. We're here to help answer your what ifs and empower what's next. Join 18 million Americans and take control of your financial future. Start today at empower.com.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go.
The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
Tee off this summer at Prairie Pines Golf Club in Sun Prairie. Hi, this is Sarah Tauscher. Enjoy the ultimate golf experience at Prairie Pines with a range of membership options, from unlimited access to weekdays only. Whether you're a golf enthusiast or just a casual golfer, Prairie Pines has something for everyone. Just passing through? No worries. Guests are always welcome. Visit prairiepinesgolfclub.com to book your tee time and learn more about golf memberships for the entire 2024 season. That's prairiepinesgolfclub.com.
You're listening to Kyle Brust and Nortman on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Alex Stroh really making me happy with the music today. On a Friday, day 2 of the NFL draft at 6 o'clock. Milwaukee Bucks at 4:30. It's a good day to live in Wisconsin. And it's a good day to talk to Brian Bulaga, former Packer tackle. He will be announcing the second-round picks in this NFL draft, so get ready to see Brian on TV. You can also see him on YouTube at ESPN Madison, at ESPN Milwaukee. As we are Kyle Brust and Nortman, and we welcome in the future Packer Hall of Famer, Brian Bulaga. What's up, Brian?
Guys, how's it going? Ready for day 2 here?
Yes, I'm excited, and I spent the first 36 minutes with Brad Nortman with a very emotional Kyle Wallace because he thinks it's about him. He wanted to go for need. He wanted defense. The board fell the way Goody wanted it to fall, and based off of the way that Goody drafted last year, he doesn't have a lifetime pass, but I think he gets a year pass. He saw what he wanted. I love getting a guy that's versatile. If they can make him a left tackle in the future, move Rasheed Walker right tackle, Zach Tom to center. I think it's perfect. Tell me why I'm right, because I think you'll agree, and tell Kyle why he's stupid.
Well, I think well, first off, let's say I'm good with the pick. I'm good with the pick. Last time I talked to you guys, I said offensive line, potentially DB in round 1, and that's where they went. Now, where they could have gone, I mean, I really like the guy from Duke. It is what it is. Goody saw something in this guy that they really liked. You know, it is what it is. It is what it is. I mean, this guy is versatile. I do want to, I know Demovsky put this report out by some scouts inside the Packers building that they think Zach Tom is a Hall of Fame center. And to me, we got to pump the brakes on that. That's got, the life of that has to be, stopped. Because you don't move Pro Bowl or potential All-Pro tackles to center. So we got to pump the brakes on that
All
for
right,
a little
Brian
bit. Brian
Bulaga says stop the talk of Zach Tom to center because
we got to.
And if Brian Bulaga, someone who played for the Packers and was a very successful tackle, says so, I, as Ben Brust, will never say that again until he gives me permission to.
But we look at this new, Jordan Morgan, new guy. He projected also to play inside at guard, which we all know depth is needed. And, there could be something that happens in the future that potentially, if Myers doesn't get re-signed, we have a guy on the roster right now, Elton Jenkins, that could play at a really high level at center, potentially. And, a new left guard gets filled in. So it all depends on which way they go. I mean, this is all down the line because the starting lineup is going to be what it's going to be this year with obviously a high competition at left tackle now. But I like the pick. I think we're going to see some depth and some guys getting picked in the second, third round here that are going to be kind of, Kyle, what you're looking for. The defensive side of the football needs are going to be addressed in the second and third round if I had to take a guess.
Brian, with these draft evaluations and prospect evaluations, you got to find some positive and you got to find some negatives. All the negatives I'm seeing on Morgan has a lot to do with measurables, arm length. That keeps on being brought up. That's a big thing. But then I also saw on Twitter that those same measurables they put those, mirrored them next to your owns, and a bunch of people were saying, well, hey, wait a minute. Brian Bulaga, first round offensive lineman, had an amazing career, reliable, just the kind of guy that you hope this guy can be. So maybe it's not that big of a deal. So you lived it. You had a ton of success. Why is everyone making a big deal out of arm length? Is that really a big deal? Are these measurables even important, or is that completely
tell us,
overblown?
alligator arms.
Yeah, I mean, let's be real. I mean, there's got to be something for somebody to talk about, right? And if we're going to nitpick guys, which is what they do this time of year, and when guys get drafted and they show their highlights up on TV and they're talking about this and talking about that. I mean, talking about arm length is something that, I mean, I remember it when I was coming through. It was a knock on me, and it is what it is. Everyone
doesn't matter, though, right?
needs some. To me, no. If you play fundamentally sound, play within yourself, play with good technique, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't. I mean, I told Wilde and Tausch, they know really well. There's a guy that just got put into the Hall of Fame this last time. He played at the University of Wisconsin. Named Joe Thomas, did not have long arms, but somehow he figured out a way to become a Hall of Fame player. So it's all based on what you do with what you got and how you're able to figure out your weaknesses really quick, because you got to figure them out quick in the NFL. You figure out your weaknesses and you fix your game around what you don't do well and make sure you hide those things. Everyone's going to find stuff on tape you're not good at, but hide them and, make sure you dictate the game as you're taking on these pass rushers. And if he does that, he'll be fine. But you have to find yourself and what you do best and what you don't do best and figure that out in camp and make sure you implement a plan to kind of make sure that people don't take advantage of those things.
We're speaking with Brian Bulaga, former Green Bay Packer, who's in Detroit getting at the NFL draft, going to make the picks. Something I dream of doing one day.
You keep dreaming.
You ain't no Brian Bulaga.
How about Brian Bulaga? But maybe, I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. One day I'll get famous enough.
Ask your damn question.
But anyway, Brian Bulaga live from the draft. Going to be making the pick tonight. Can't wait to see him on TV tonight. But you said you were good with the pick, but it doesn't sound like you were blown away with the first-round pick of Jordan Morgan. What must the Packers do tonight to make you feel even better about the direction of the team moving forward?
Yeah, listen, it's so hard to say I'm not good with the pick or good with the player when I don't know much about the player, right? You can read all you want about him from breakdowns and evaluations and what people have said, and it really doesn't make any difference until we actually see him in action and we can kind of, I guess we all can evaluate him based on that.
We knew when we drafted Brian Bulaga, we all jumped for joy because we knew we got a guy that was going to be a really good starter. Like, you can tell,
Yeah, listen, obviously I had some more accolades behind my name than this young man did, but that's all, that's all. That's just what it is, right? That's all things, but I always like to look at, especially tackle play, right? If we're thinking he's going to play left tackle, I like to see how he does in training camp. I want to see how he moves in training camp and see him in person and how he moves and how he blocks Rashawn Gary and Preston Smith and Van Ness. We got good pass rushers for him to go against, to evaluate on. So that's a big deal. And now hitting your second part of your question, I think for me personally, I really want to see Goody take defense and secondary defense, these first few picks or whatever he does with these second round picks. I want to see secondary. There's some good players out there, right? There's some good guys. Kool-Aid, Cooper. We got some solid guys out there that he could potentially make some moves for. So it'll be interesting to see if maybe, he's holding that 9th pick in the second round. And then I think it's like the 59th overall pick or something like that. See if he maybe packages the 59th and maybe a 4th or something and tries to move back up in the second round to get the two guys that he really wants, whether that's DeJean and Kool-Aid or whoever it may be, whoever he's targeting. Because I think when you look at football teams in general, your first round guys are what they are. But you build rosters from round 2 to essentially round 4 or 5. And this is why him having so many picks between round 2 and round 5 is such a big deal, because he can add some really good players these next few days. So I'm pretty stoked about it.
Talking with Brian Bulaga right now on Kyle Brust and Nortman. You had some fun with Willie and Tausch this morning. If you missed that, check it out from 9 to noon on podcast or on YouTube. And the dream of Cooper DeJean being selected and Brian Bulaga saying his name. Listen in.
Cooper DeJean, safety, Iowa.
Oh, that is
He didn't
so
get AI,
good.
did he?
So right.
No, that was him earlier today practicing if it does happen.
About to say, I hope you didn't get AI'd, buddy.
No. That was all me. That was all me. I mean, well, let's be honest. I mean, what do you guys want to see? I want to hear a poll of what you guys would like to see. I mean, it's always interesting, the opinions. I mean, obviously, we all understand that O-line needed to be addressed, right? We all are on board with that. I think if you're not on board with that, we got to talk about what we had going on before last night with the depth of the position. But now here we go.
No Nyman. Like, it made sense, and I think we're all in agreement there. Kyle just wanted to eat earlier.
See tonight?
Bakhtiari didn't play at all last year, and Yash Nyman was trash last year. The offensive line, again, it's not about the fact that I don't like Jordan. It's about the fact
You just don't value the offensive line.
I value offensive line, but what I have seen the Green Bay Packers do, they have developed a lot of great offensive linemen without having to draft them high up. And I mean,
I guess, you know what? That is the one thing, Brian, I do want you to answer before we let you go. And I do have more, but I want to give you time in Detroit to enjoy your day. Kyle makes a good point, right? We talk about all these fourth-rounders that turned into great offensive linemen. We talked about it last night with Mark Chimura in the draft show, right? The Packers have a way of making the offensive line good to great, kind of no matter what organizationally. So why go in the first round when you do have potential of building with second, third, fourth-round guys? Was it just the way the board fell? Or, again, just take us through that, because it's the one thing that Kyle says that I'm like, well, why did they go early for O-line?
No, I mean, the team has definitely had a lot of success turning third, fourth-round picks into, like, all-pro caliber players. There is no doubt about that, right? But that, I feel like if you look as a whole, that is like an exception to the rule, right? Like, that doesn't happen often. So, like, if you look at, I mean, I guess you got to look at the breakdown of that ESPN release of the last how many drafts. If you draft a tackle, what's the hit rate on it? It's really high, right? Like, I think it's probably like a 68 or 69% hit rate of offensive tackles being drafted in the first round. Those guys, if they're good, the team will re-sign them, and that's counted as a hit by the team. So statistically, you're looking at it as if we take a tackle in round one, there's a chance he's going to be a guy that we have around for 8 to 10 years. And when you look at the stability of an offensive line, you got to have guys that are going to be centerpieces for long term. So you already look at them right now, right? Like Zach Tom's obviously one of those guys. Elton Jenkins has been one of those guys. Now you draft a left tackle hoping he's going to be one of those guys, whether it's at guard or at left tackle, however he performs and it shakes out. So it's okay to add depth in the third and fourth round, because you got to have solid guys. And you know what? If those guys end up being David Bakhtiari and being Josh Sitton and being TJ Lang and being Corey Linsley and being Mark Tauscher, that is a absolute giant bonus. And it doesn't happen all the time. Green Bay's been really fortunate with it, obviously. And I kind of, partially credit it to the success of the franchise drafting quarterbacks. When you have franchise quarterbacks, there's a different mentality and mindset in the offensive line room than, say, if you're blocking for, good quarterback, but we'll just say like a Trevor Lawrence. If you got Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre, and now Jordan Love, and these are truly franchise special type players, or you believe Jordan Love is going to be that, the offensive line mentality changes a bit, because you understand that I need to be a good to elite level player to even start on this offensive line, because the money invested in the position behind me is so great that if I can't cut it, I'm out of here. And it doesn't look good when guys get shipped out of places when you have an elite level quarterback. That means they don't trust you with the guy, and that's a big deal. It's a responsibility. So their guys develop a certain mentality, and I can only speak for the guys that I played with: Lang, Sitton, Bach, Corey, all later round picks. Dudes had elite mindsets because they knew what it took to get it done blocking for Aaron Rodgers. And there's a certain pressure that gets put on guys, whether you're drafted in the first round, the fifth round, doesn't matter. In this offensive line room, if you want to cut it, you got to develop into a hell of a player to play. So I'm hoping you look at Jordan Love. I think we all agree he's something special, right? And you hope that pressure then moves into the O-line room that, hey, we got to develop if we want to get on this field. And obviously, when the quarterback gets paid, linemen get paid, if they go hand in hand, right? Like if you got good linemen and good quarterback, the quarterback gets paid first and the linemen get the trickle down from that. So like you want to be part of that mix. So I think that's what's been so good for Green Bay over the last, 30 plus years now. You got great quarterback play. You're normally going to get pretty good offensive line play with it. That if you look out through the history of the NFL, name me great quarterbacks that have had terrible offensive lines and sustained it. Not many. Like, think about it for a second. Like, all those years Brady had, those O-lines were studs.
Jeff
They were
Saturday
absolute
was
studs.
Peyton Manning's best friend for a reason.
Yeah, I mean, so you just got to look at that from that standpoint of great quarterbacks equal great offensive lines, and that's a mentality that's developed through that room, and hopefully that's what's kind of going on in Green Bay right now.
Brian, you make talking about the offensive line really fun and insightful. We
So
appreciate
good.
you taking some time to talk with us and KBN Nation. Enjoy delivering the picks. I'll be watching the TV
Cooper
doing
DeJean.
the I know
Safety.
him.
Let's go.
Iowa.
There it is. Thanks, Brian.
All right, guys, take it easy.
Brian Bulaga, great stuff. If you missed any of it, go to Wisconsin On Demand. Check out Kyle Brust-Nortman wherever you get your podcasts. Brad, you were a man of your word. 8:45, he was on the draft show. 9:01, whenever he was off the call, he opened up the mojito.
The mojito flavor carbless. I brought it up from the downstairs Nortman fridge to the upstairs Nortman fridge. So right when I clicked disconnect, talking to our boy Strophy and Homer over there, I could pop open that can, throw on the draft, and be able to enjoy myself. And that first sip of my carbless mojito, it just reminded me of all the reasons why I love carbless. First of all, I ate healthy all day. I tried to work out. I felt pretty good. I wanted to continue feeling good, and carbless allows me to do that because it's literally, as the name says, it's guilt-free and it's carbless. No carbs, no sugars, no gluten, less carbonation leading to less bloat. I felt good. After my mojito one, I had a few more because I was feeling so good. But not only that, it's the flavor. I mean, you could have closed my eyes as I'm listening to the draft and been like, I think a bartender just made me this mojito. It was that good. And there's also so many other flavors to choose from, like Paloma Margarita, lemon lime, black cherry, and cranberry. There is a flavor for everybody. And I know why my list is more. I want you to understand why your list is more. I'm going to be having a few more this weekend. You can bet on that. Find Carbless online and at retailers near you.
Well, what perfect timing. Producer Alex Strofe told us, or told me at least, that Brad just talked about carbless. And then as we leave the show, enjoy this outro liner about Brad and oatmeal.
This is Kyle Brust-Nortman, KBN.
And make sure everyone's tuning in when we do this, because y'all's faces are going to be like,
it better be sweet.
If you think I'm going to act like that for oatmeal, you're outside your damn
You've never
mind.
had Brad Nortman's oatmeal.
It's not
Yeah, but I've
Quaker,
also
is
had
it?
chocolate chip
No,
pancakes
no,
with butter
organic.
and syrup that make me go, oh, baby, oatmeal ain't going to do that.
You'll be surprised. I'm going to do a variety.
On ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Alex Strofe.
Varsity on Wisconsin On Demand is home to all the latest and best Badgers content on ESPN Wisconsin. Subscribe on Apple, Spotify, Wisconsin On Demand, and wherever you get your podcasts. As the conversation about the NCAA transfer portal and name, image, likeness erupts, Wisconsin men's basketball head coach Greg Gard joined Wilde and Tausch this week to talk about the ongoing issues.
We've got to figure out the best path going forward nationally to put ourselves in the best position where there is it revenue sharing? I don't know what the answer is. Nobody has the answer. That's why we're sitting here in this position.
Find the full conversation with Greg Gard on Wisconsin On Demand or wherever you get your podcasts. Just search Wilde and Tausch.
Get 0% interest for up to 36 months, or no down payment, no interest, and no payments for up to 18 months. Book before April 30th at PellaWI.com.
Ben Brust here to tell you about Michelob Ultra because it is the official beer of the Milwaukee Bucks. And as you know, where you're listening right now, 100.5 ESPN is the home for the Milwaukee Bucks. So when you are enjoying this playoff series, make sure you go enjoy a nice Mich Ultra. Go to your local grocery store, go to your local convenience store, and you'll see the official beer of the Milwaukee Bucks, Michelob Ultra. Enjoy it and take a nice sip every time you see a 3 rain down. The Bucks are better with Michelob Ultra.
Since J&K Security Solutions opened in 1987, our attention to detail and customer service have been our strongest assets. I'm President Jeffrey Beckman. We'll always do our best to find the most efficient and cost-effective solution to every job we tackle. Whether it's security for your home or business, installing video surveillance, or being able to control your garage doors from your phone, we can help you feel empowered with simple and user-friendly technology. Let's work together to secure your home or business. jksecurity.com.
It's Chevy truck season, and there's no better time to do what you do best. No better time to get the job done in a Chevy Silverado with best-in-class standard torque and a TurboMax engine with a 5-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty that outlasts both Ford and Ram. So kick off whatever your thing is season right, because it all starts with a Chevy truck.
See your Badgerland Chevy dealer today.
Based on latest competitive data, excludes other GM vehicles, whichever comes first. See dealer for limited warranty details based on Ford and Ram 5-year, 60,000-mile warranty on gasoline engines.
Evan Cohen here from Unsportsmanlike on ESPN Radio for True Green. Are you ready to elevate your lawn game without breaking the bank? True Green has been the trusted choice for over 2 million homeowners for over 50 years. Visit TrueGreen.com and discover the easiest and affordable way to achieve a pro-level lawn guaranteed. Plus, enjoy True Green's verified price matching, ensuring you get the best lawn for the best price. Visit TrueGreen.com and transform your lawn effortlessly. That's TrueGreen.com. Your dream lawn is just around the corner.
Last year's RV trip, we met a couple with the same bumper sticker. What are the odds?
Your cousin isn't a good storyteller.
He was a podiatrist, or was it a pharmacist? Huh, you don't say. Oh, I can't remember.
But she owns an RV protected by Progressive, and you don't. So until you get your own RV, her stories are the most interesting stories you've ever heard.
Wow, interesting.
And when you do get your own RV, save money by bundling it with your home, auto, or other vehicles with Progressive.
Oh, anesthesiologist. He was an anesthesiologist.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
ESPN Wisconsin's Mark Tauscher here for my friends at Kohler Services. If you need a bath or shower remodel, turn to Kohler Services. Family owned for 150 years, Kohler is your Wisconsin manufacturer providing care for life. And this month only, pay 0 interest for 12 months and get a free shower door with your Lugstone shower remodel. Visit KohlerServicesWI.com to request your free quote with fast, professional installation always included. That's KohlerServicesWI.com.
This is Kyle Brust and Nortman, KBN, on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
You're listening to 100.5 ESPN, the ESPN app, and Wisconsin On Demand.
NBA fans, listen up. I'm a big NBA fan. I can't wait to keep on watching the playoffs. And you're going to keep on wanting to watch when you try Pick 6. It's the newest fantasy app from DraftKings, who's an official partner of the NBA. Getting started, it's so simple, it's so easy. Simply select if a player is going to have more or less of a certain stat. For instance, some of the ones that I look hot tonight, man, Dame, 30 and a half points, and Harden, maybe the higher than 2.5 3-pointers. Anthony Edwards, I think less than 25 and a half points. That's my pick set. I don't know if it's going to hit, but I'm going to have a good time watching. And if it does hit, guess what? I'm going to be able to win huge cash prizes by being able to pick my favorite players and compete against others in the new DraftKings Pick 6 app. So here's what you got to do. Download the new DraftKings Pick 6 app now using code WKTI. That's code WKTI. And take the competition of your best NBA player picks. Only on DraftKings Pick 6 with code WKTI. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 18 plus in most eligible states. Age varies by jurisdiction. Eligibility restrictions apply. Pick 6 not available in all states. For up-to-date list of states, visit dkng.co/pick6states. Void where prohibited. See terms at pick6.draftkings.com/promos.
That was Brad Norman. I'm Ben Brust alongside Kyle Wallace, Alex Strofe running the show. 800-990-ESPN if you want to get involved. Eric chimes in. Bigger night for which franchise? The Packers or the Bucks? What do you guys think? Here's what I'll say. It's the Packers because the Bucks have 2 games to get one in Indy. Tonight isn't it. It's tonight or they play Monday or Sunday?
They play Sunday.
Yeah, it's tonight or Sunday. Like they just got to get one of those wins.
Yeah,
no Giannis though.
Yeah, and
Chris with a sore ankle. Worried?
I expected no Giannis, but it's the Chris portion. If Giannis and Chris don't play, and then there's Dame trying to play hero ball, and you got to rely on Brooke, Bobby, and the rest of the crew, I don't feel that great. We will get to a little bit more on the Bucks later in the show as they do start at 4:30. Kyle and Brad are looking forward to putting their feet up and watching the game.
Can't wait.
Sir.
Well-deserved time to watch the Bucks.
That's right.
I earned this.
I do want to get back to a Packer Hall of Famer. Brian Bulaga will be one, but we already have one. And you hear him on Wilde and Tausch 9 to noon. Him and Brian Bulaga talked a lot about Packers' new tackle, Jordan Morgan. And I just love old T's breakdowns. Him and Brian Bulaga are wonderful. So if you're going to talk tackles, you might as well talk some really good ones that played for the Green Bay Packers. Mark Tauscher, Packer Hall of Famer, joins us in 2 minutes.
Ben Brust here to tell you about the Princeton Club. I joined the Princeton Club because I was looking for a place I could invest in my health, and the environment and the community I have felt has made it so easy for me to incorporate it into my everyday life. It doesn't matter where you're at in your fitness journey because they have something to offer everyone. It also goes beyond fitness. From the moment you walk in the club to the moment you walk out, there is a togetherness felt throughout the members and staff that keeps you going for your better tomorrow. Don't wait any longer and get started on your fitness journey today at PrincetonClub.net. That's PrincetonClub.net.
Hi, this is Dave Kane. You're listening to Madison's Home of the Bucks, a good Karma brand radio station, 100.5 ESPN WTLX, Monona, Madison.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good afternoon, Madison. My name is Riley Yauk, and this is your Sports Center update brought to you by Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin's Road America. The NTT IndyCar Series is coming June 6th through the 9th. Get your tickets today and check out the full season schedule at roadamerica.com. Starting in Detroit, as yesterday the Packers used the 25th pick of the draft to snag the man with 2 first names, Jordan Morgan. The offensive lineman out of Arizona made 37 starts at left tackle for the Wildcats, was a 2-time All-Pac-12 pick in 2022 and 2023, and a 2-time team captain. The Packers announced today via its Twitter account that he'll be wearing number 77. One that's been worn by the likes of Cullen Jenkins, Billy Turner, and one Tony Mandrich. No need to read too far into that, though, and now it's day 2, and at present the Packers have 4 picks at their disposal. The 9th and 26th picks of the second round, and the 25th and 28th picks of the third round. Here's to hoping they snag someone named Cooper or Kool-Aid with one of those. And then tonight, the Bucks look to steal one into Indiana in Game 3 against the Pacers. Coverage begins right here at 4 o'clock.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studios in Madison, this is Kyle Brust and Nordman, KBN. Sponsored by Bud Light on ESPN Wisconsin, ESPN Madison on YouTube, and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Kyle Brust and Nordman across ESPN Wisconsin. Ben Brust, Packer backer Kyle Wallace, who's acting like a poser, as many are saying.
Oh, my gosh.
He wanted need. He wanted defense. He doesn't want to protect the house. Like Brad
you
Nortman.
was crying about this before.
Who's he?
You were crying about defense.
No, but
and if Bill Belichick says something, all of a sudden you think Goody's a god.
I mean, literally, the texts don't lie. You can go back. Protect the house. I've been a trenches guy. Mark Tauscher's coming on to talk trenches with us right now for a reason.
Mark doesn't believe that.
No, if you have Jordan Love, build depth around Jordan Love.
No, he doesn't believe you.
I don't care if he believes me or not. But let's go to him. Packers Hall of Famer Mark Tauscher. Your thoughts on the pick, because Kyle's being a baby because it wasn't defense.
Why is Kyle being a baby?
Kyle, explain.
I don't think I'm being a baby.
Kyle, why are you a baby?
I'm not being a baby whatsoever. I'm just, again, nothing against Jordan. I think Jordan will be fine. I just feel like there were other glaring needs that we had for the Green Bay Packers, and I watch us draft defense year after year after year after year. In the 1 year where we're transitioning from a 3-4 to a 4-3, where we need a linebacker, we need a safety, we could upgrade at corner, we need more depth on the D-line.
There's 4 more picks, and they have capital to move still.
But in the first round, it would have been nice to get somebody who was going to be on the defensive side of the ball.
So I think obviously we want to get as many good players in here as we can, but there's a value proposition that goes into this. And I think you looked at it, and I just read this as I was prepping for this appearance with you guys. There were 8 quality offensive tackles that I think 2 or 3 different draft folks kind of had put down. There's 8 of them. And our guy was one of those 8. So for everybody that wanted, and I think you might have been one of these guys, Cooper DeJean, or the linebacker, or, Kool-Aid, any of these guys you're talking about, guess what? They're still available.
That's true.
And the Green Bay Packers got a position and a guy that they love. Bill Belichick loves him. He moves great. If you watch film, his feet look good. I don't understand. We're panicking and getting irritated about getting someone. You're going to put a $50 million plus price tag on an annual basis with your new quarterback, with the guy that you're going to protect. And that's what everybody saw. Everybody last night scrambling and hoping and wishing that they get a guy. We have a guy, and now you are mad that we're sitting here trying to supplement and make the group up front better to make his life easier so that our offense can continue to grow? I don't understand that, Kyle. I don't.
No, I'm not mad. I'm upset that we did not go defense. I feel like the Packers can develop, and you are one of them. They can develop offensive linemen. The offensive line was not a glaring need.
Bulaga just told us, that is great, but it's hard to do it. The Packers have been an exception to the rule.
They've been an exception my entire life, and I'm talking to a guy that was part of the exception.
Well, hey, Kyle, but the other thing is we've had first-round picks littered throughout this defense.
That's true.
And I know Hafley's come in. So it goes both ways. Right? It goes both ways. It's not just you have to. And I think the one thing I've been a huge proponent, I think what the NFL did with the draft and moving it to Thursday night and getting all the spotlight and making it a big, glamorous event has been awesome. But what it also does is it kind of all of the attention dims. Tonight will still be bright, but it's dimmer than last, and it keeps dimming down. And what you find is you get the meat and potatoes, the heart and soul of your football team today and tomorrow. So the draft isn't over. It's just getting started. Goody just said last night, going to be a hugely important day for the future of this football team because I'm guessing he's hoping to find 2 and maybe 3 starters out of these 4 picks if that's what he ends up doing this afternoon. So it's still a long way to go as far as the picks that you were hoping you were going to get. And I think we're all surprised that some of the guys that I think Green Bay we had thought they were going to target, they're still there after round 1.
Talking with Packers Hall of Famer Mark Tauscher here on Kyle Brust and Ortman across ESPN Wisconsin. Old T breaking down everything from last night and moving forward for the weekend.
And I'm excited for Old T to break this one down because one of the things that we keep on hearing about Jordan Morgan is that he can play any of the 4 of the 5 positions on the offensive line. There's all this discussion of shifting everybody around. But I gotta ask, Tausch, is it really just that easy to just move everybody around the line? Or is there some sort of Zach Tom played tackle and he's got a comfort level at tackle? I mean, can you just really shift around offensive linemen that easy like that on any given offseason?
Well, I mean, obviously you don't want to do that, but I think the thing that, Goody said last night after this pick too is we're going to play our best 5. And that's something you always hear, especially in the beginning of training camp. And let's find our 5 best and then figure it out. I mean, Josh Sitton was a really good right guard, played the Super Bowl right guard, and they switched him over to left guard. Brian Bulaga played left tackle. Then he came and played right tackle. And I think the beauty of what Green Bay does is you don't just pigeonhole somebody and say, all right, here we go. This guy's got to play here. It's get good athletes, find guys that play left tackle and have the feet in college that they can adjust and adapt because injuries happen. Now, you always want to make sure you have your left tackle solidified because it's such a vital position. But I think Green Bay looks at it, just get us a bunch of good athletes that are versatile, that are tough, and that are strong, and we'll find places for them. And it's up to the coaches to train and to get what you're looking for. And if you look at last year, it was struggle city early in the year for the offensive line. there is going to be a little process. And the other thing that is different than when I played, these guys, they're not afraid to rotate guys. They're not afraid to platoon guys. They put Yash and Sheed over, and they platooned him, and Sean Ryan and Runyon. They're going to continue to let that competition go. So for as much as we want to have that continuity, so, I feel good with Marco passing off stunts, and City feels good with Bulaga, or City feels good with David Bakhtiari. Those things are important, but the most important thing is getting athletes that can handle the job, train them, and coach them up so that you're going to have an effective unit up front.
Tauscher, I find it interesting because it is the Bears, but what they've done is they did have like a top 15 offensive line. They reshifted it. They have a good defense, especially when they traded for Sweat, and they have all these pieces. Are the Bears truly a legitimate threat to the Green Bay Packers?
So I think, I don't know how Caleb Williams is going to be. I don't think Chicago knows. They all hope. But one of the things that I think everybody last night super excited. Minnesota got their quarterback. Chicago's got, well, we don't know that. And the other thing, look at all that they gave up to do what they did. And I know the Bears did this with getting Sweat and getting.
They fleeced the Panthers.
So, yeah, that trade ended up, and that's how you get better. That's how you improve. But Minnesota has basically given up outside of their first-round pick next year. They don't have hardly any picks. They don't have very many picks later in this. So while, yes, I think you can say what Chicago did, they got a wideout that everybody's excited about to go along with it. They built their offensive line a little bit. You know what they don't have a ton of the next couple days? Draft picks. They aren't going to have the luxury of continuing to build their roster because for as excited as they can be, they do not have the amount of swings that Brian Gutekunst is going to have. And I would argue Goody's roster is already better. So for everybody that's excited, you don't know what Caleb Williams is going to be. You can hope. You don't know how their receiver is going to be, but you do know they're not going to add as much talent in the next day, 2 days as the Green Bay Packers, and neither is Minnesota because they continue to chase that position that Green Bay doesn't have to, and that's another huge advantage in why the Packers have been able to be so stable and run their organization in a way that their teams don't have to have those big drops off of cliffs because they never have to. When they address the quarterback position, it's not a rush to do it. You build it, and then you let it flourish, and that's what we're seeing.
Powerful.
Tausch, I'm coming around. I'm fine.
Are you?
I know.
He's very reluctant.
Tausch, I'm coming around. I'm coming around because I am excited about what day 2 and day 3 hold for the Green Bay Packers. And I said earlier this week, I think this is the most important draft that Goody will ever have. Looking at tonight, do you believe that tonight, with the 4 picks that the Green Bay Packers have, these will be the most impactful picks that Goody will draft really right now that will have the biggest impact on the football team this year and moving forward?
No, I think that's I don't want to say it's absurd, but I think Jordan Love obviously was a huge pick. And then you look at what they did with the wide receiving core last year. That was obviously every draft is important. But I think the beauty of this year's draft is there's not like, oh, my God, if we don't hit here, this team's going to stink. Last year, if he doesn't hit on those wideouts and hit on the tight end, obviously a few years ago hit on Jordan Love, it would have been a complete and utter disaster. If nobody the rest of this way, let's say the tackle from last night plays, and the rest of this draft is just depth and guys not redshirting but playing special teams, I still think this team could be a Super Bowl contender.
No, at linebacker, no way. No, stop it.
If
at linebacker,
hit on these guys, Quay Walker and McDuffie are going to be fine. Now, injuries always come into play, but if you hit on them, you build even more, and it gives you a better chance to do it. But I really believe that what this team does, and if you get the growth that they're expecting to have from the young players, this is a Super Bowl contending team. And if you add a couple of nice pieces tonight and tomorrow, you're only going to be that much better. So would I say it's the most important? It is because it's the next. But as far as the overall build of this team, this 2024 football team isn't going to be because this draft class is putting him over the top. It's going to be because his last 2 draft classes in Jordan Love and the players that he's acquired in free agency, it's always going to be your veteran players and your core guys that take you there. it's these draft picks that can help you get over the hump.
Tauscher, last one before we let you go. I think this one's actually going to intrigue you. Is this a bigger weekend for the Green Bay Packers or the Milwaukee Bucks future?
Oh, what a great question. It's a Milwaukee Bucks answer. Easy for me. Easy. Because we don't know if Giannis doesn't play. I don't know if anyone else on your panel, if Giannis doesn't play in the series, I don't think the Bucks get through. I think they get beat. And then you now, as a front office, have to look at this and say, man, 2 years in a row we're knocked out in the first round.
That's
and
tough.
yes, Giannis is dinged up, but you don't think there's going to be some wholesale changes? And what are the changes going to be? If Green Bay stinks and doesn't hit the draft, they're still going to be really good next year. This should be a home run no-brainer. If you pulled that, it would be the Milwaukee Bucks. This is a huge weekend. They need to find a way to get one done in Indy. They have to find a way to advance, even if Giannis doesn't play. And if they don't, I think there's going to be so many question marks and so much talk about what the future of the Milwaukee Bucks looks like. Whereas the Packers, if they don't, if they draft guys that end up being marginal players, I still think you're going to be okay.
Old T, appreciate you jumping on late notice. Have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you on Tuesday.
Sounds good, fellas.
That's Mark Tauscher, Packers Hall of Famer. Hear him every weekday, Monday through Friday from 9 to noon across these various stations. And you hear Tausch talk about the great work that Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin does. And now you're going to hear a couple of us.
Oh, man. I mean, Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, if there was a draft, it'd be the first overall pick every single time. That's because what Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin can do for you, it literally blows your mind. Ben and I saw it with our own very eyes. We went to the showroom, and we were walking through with Gina. Talk about the ability to customize anything. You were showing pictures left and right, and you're saying, can you do this? Can you do that?
I was like,
What
look,
Gina's
I
answer?
don't think these windows have been ever replaced in my home. Like,
Yeah.
Can you do the wood and white? They were like, yeah, we can do the wood and white. And we do it all ourselves because we've been around 100 years. Literally, all of it is Pella made. Like, there's no middleman. And I like working with a company where they've been around through depressions, they've been around through market crashes. You know why they're still here? Because they provide a quality product and they meet budgets with where you are. If I'm going to be in the house for 5 years and you want to get the windows done for the home value and the energy costs, you can do that. If you want to go a little bit bigger with your swings and your changes because you're going to be there the rest of your life, you do that, and they give you offers to do so.
It's unbelievable. That's because Pella, what Ben was talking about, it makes their premium product, and it is a premium product. There's ways to make them affordable. There are windows and doors for every home and every budget. That's because they offer deals like this. You guys know at this point, I love me a deal. And this is a deal from Pella Windows and Doors. It is 0% interest for up to 60 months or no down payment, no interest, and no payments for 24 months. It's kind of a pick your best solution. They will work with you to figure out how can you get those beautiful, sleek, luxurious, custom Pella Windows and Doors in your house for either one of those two options to make it affordable for you. So if you're looking to finally make your living space a place worth living, check out Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
KBN Academy, Alex Strove's time to shine. Hopefully he's got some good stuff for all of you and us to answer. Coming up next.
You're listening to Kyle Brust and Nortman, KBN.
Ben, I've been a fan of you since Scalzo and Brust was on the air. You kind of are like a Pat McAfee for the ESPN Milwaukee. You kind of revolutionized this channel and stuff.
Leo, I'm here for you, and I appreciate everything you say. We love you listening, and you can call in every day and say that. I won't get on.
On ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
When you're in the right place at the right time, things get done. The important things, like knowing what you need and how it all works. Talking truck. Fixing it right the first time. At Zimbrick Chevrolet, our people get it done right and now. That's how you know you're in the right place at the right time. And you'll never overpay at Zimbrick Chevrolet.
You're probably being overwhelmed with information about semaglutide, the game-changing FDA-approved weight loss treatment. Jim Rutledge here. I was like you. I didn't know what it was until I saw Dr. Nestor Rodriguez at Carbon World Health. He can walk you through the benefits. He can tell you if it's right for you, and then you could come up with a plan to change your life with a workout plan and semaglutide. With that plan, I dropped 20% body fat to 10% body fat, and I dropped over 20 pounds of fat and kept my muscle. You can do the same thing. Go see Dr. Nestor Rodriguez at Carbon World Health.
Transform your home with Ridgetop Exteriors. With over 22 years of service excellence, we specialize in roofing, siding, windows, doors, and gutters. Visit us today at ridgetopexteriors.com. That's ridgetopexteriors.com. Find your trusted, local, affordable partner here at Ridgetop Exteriors.
Forward Madison FC's professional soccer season is underway, and they want you to pack out Breeze Stevens Field. Need a night out with the whole family? Try the Forward Madison Family Special presented by MG&E. Score a ticket to the match, a meal, and an FMFC scarf, all for just $25 per person. Visit forwardmadisonfc.com to purchase your tickets today. That's forwardmadisonfc.com. Forward Madison, fun for all.
Are you looking for a fast-paced job in a fun and exciting work environment? Look no further than Ho Chunk Gaming Madison. We offer a wide range of job and shift availability in both part-time and full-time positions. Competitive wages and great benefits await you at Ho Chunk Gaming Madison. Visit us in person or check out our website to see all of our job openings. Make work fun and apply for a job at Madison's only casino.
You can't miss a moment with Green.
You cannot stop rooting for your team. The old expression, if you love something, let it go, and if it doesn't come back, then it wasn't really yours to begin with. If you can let go of your team, you didn't love it to begin with. Jet fans have gotten mad at me over the last few years because I've been hard on the team. I think that's my job as a fan, hold their feet to the fire. But at 0 point would I ever consider not being a fan of the team.
Greeny, weekdays noon to 2 on 100.5 ESPN.
Since 1956, Holman Lindsay Paints has been making paint in Wisconsin for Wisconsin. Because of their commitment to making great paint for Wisconsinites, Holman Lindsay has grown over the years to 26 locations in this great state. Headquarters in Sun Prairie with a state-of-the-art facility, Holman Lindsay has the paint you need to make your job better. From do-it-yourself to professional, Holman Lindsay has paint for everyone. Visit one of their local locations today in Madison, Sun Prairie, Middleton, and Janesville.
You ever have one of those days when you just couldn't come up with the right answer? Well, I know one answer that pretty much solves all problems. Ice cream. Yeah, it's the answer to everything, right? And right now, at Quick Trip, our rich, creamy, straight from our dairy, Nature's Touch 1-gallon pails of ice cream are just $4.99. Yeah, now that's an answer worth digging into. Come on, be a problem solver. Bring home some fresh, delicious Nature's Touch ice cream, only from Quick Trip.
For official rules and more information about every contest on 100.5 ESPN, visit ESPNWisconsinContests.com. That's ESPNWisconsinContests.com. You're listening to 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN app.
This is Kyle, Brust, and Nortman, sponsored by Bud Light on ESPN Wisconsin and Wisconsin On Demand. You're listening to 100.5 ESPN, the ESPN app, and Wisconsin On Demand.
Can you blow my whistle, baby, whistle, baby? Here we go.
Kyle, Brust, and Nortman across ESPN Wisconsin. Hope you're having a great Friday. It's a big weekend for the state of Wisconsin. It's going to be a fun day. Forget who I saw on Twitter X say it, but it feels a little, if you love sports, this is a little NCAA March Madness type day. 4:30, Milwaukee Bucks. First pick roughly 7-ish for the Green Bay Packers. Second pick maybe 7:45, 8 o'clock. So like, lots to take in, and I think that's exciting. I'm Ben Brust next to Packer backer, Packer poser, Kyle Wallace. Brad Nortman.
Poser today.
I mean, that's just what KBN Nation's saying. Brad Nortman, longtime NFL punter, and Alex Strofer on the show. Big thanks to Brian Bulaga and Mark Tauscher, both very great in different ways. If I had to rank the appearances, though, I thought Bulaga was awesome.
Bulaga was really good. Dude is like in the draft in Detroit right now, and he is just feeling himself. It was so good.
He was like, he almost sounded like an executive or a scout in a room giving us a breakdown as to the thought process as to why this was the pick and what he's going to go through as a tackle or even an offensive lineman in the Packer system, how he's going to elevate his play just based off the fact. And I think that the question came from Kyle continuously asking, why would we take a tackle in the first round when we have success in the third and fourth? And I thought Brian's answer was twofold and was wonderful. Well, we've been an exception to the rule. That doesn't happen everywhere you go, and it doesn't mean it's going to continue to happen. It's definitely a good thing that you build your roster out that way. But he also said, if you get a guy like that and you put him in the Packers system where you have great quarterbacks, right? The last 30 years has been Favre, Rodgers, and now if you think Love is that, you're going to step up your game, because if you don't, you're going to be gone. And if you're gone because you can't protect a franchise quarterback, your value on the open market is going to be low. So I just thought that was awesome to hear, and why it makes sense to build depth at the offensive line. 800-990-ESPN. And you guys feel free to chime in. I mean, I just thought it was great.
Brian Bulaga dropped gems, right?
WisconsinOnDemand.com. Kyle Brust and Norton, wherever you get your podcast.
And when he talked about the guys that had come before who were not first-round draft picks that developed into great guys, he talked about the T.J. Langs and many other guys that the Green Bay Packers had. He was absolutely right. And the mentality that the Packers have that I think they continue, and all I heard from that was the fact that an elite mindset. And Brad, you played at a high level in the NFL, and you have to have an elite mindset in order to be great. Iron sharpens iron. And if that is the case, that the Green Bay Packers still have that type of swagger, I am happy that they were able, because I still want them to bring in offensive lineman. I'm happy they could bring in a guy where you already have 5 guys that can start. Sean Ryan can go right in there and be a starter. Josh Myers has already shown he ain't the best center in the NFL, but he's a serviceable center. Rasheed Walker, he wasn't an issue. He wasn't a problem last year. But you bring in another guy that creates more competition. Iron sharpens iron. That only makes the Green Bay Packers offensive line that much better, which makes Jordan Love the true winner from last night.
Well, speaking of Jordan Love, I mean, we know how big of a deal it is to have a franchise quarterback. I'm just reminded more and more how many more layers there is to that, because he basically said when you have a franchise quarterback, I mean, Rodgers and Favre, those guys are Hall of Famers. We don't know Love's going to be that. But we know he's good. We know he's a franchise quarterback.
You know they're going to want to take care of him.
You're going to want to take care of him. And so when you have that, the impact and the trickle-down effect on how you want to block for them, how you approach your job differently, I mean, I just am reminded on the seismic impact that having a dude quarterback in the room not only does for you on the field, but how it carries over to every other position. And we had Cam. And when you have those kind of guys, it steps everybody up. It makes the scope on you so much bigger. It makes you want to step up and do even better. So it's amazing to see. It's why it's a quarterback have and have not league. And if you got your guy, it makes everybody raise their talent too.
800-990-3776. John in Milwaukee. John, welcome into Kyle Brust and Nortman. Your thoughts?
All right. Good afternoon, fellas. My thoughts on the draft so far, I'm fine with taking an offensive lineman in the first round. But the offensive lineman that I wanted was Graham Barton, the offensive lineman that went the very next pick to Tampa Bay. I agree with Mel Kiper there. He was saying that Graham Barton's the guy that's going to be in the league for about 10 to 12 years and probably a Pro Bowl player for the next for about half of those years. So preferably, I would have rather that they got Graham Barton for that reason. And so this player I'm not as familiar with. Obviously, Gutekunst sees something in this player that he liked over Graham Barton. So we will see
How
what
much
he does.
do you trust Goody overall? Do you trust Goody to make that right decision?
Well, at this point, we're going to have to. He did a good job last year. Last year he did good. This year he's going to have to bring his A game because, see, we have an opportunity to take advantage of the draft with 2 picks in the second, 2 picks in the third. So I would like for him to use all 4 of those picks and just be smart about it. Beef up on the.
Appreciate the call, John. Just want to keep it rolling here because I thought you brought a couple of good points, right? Like the little bit of Kyle action right there of it wasn't the guy I wanted, but like I hear you. There was Graham Barton, Mel Kiper's best available, but again, it's not about Mike and it's not about Kyle. It's about what Goody has seen and how Goody is building his roster in a specific way. Now that's why, like Brad's question, do you believe in him or not? Right? Because that's what it comes down to. We all could have done, everyone listening could have done their own mock draft and fell in love with one guy, but we don't make the selections. And we're not the one that's building the future and getting paid to create a roster around Jordan Love. And again, what he had said, again, goes to the fact that we continue to go back to for this year. Are you trusting Goody or are you prove it to me? And for me, It's a 1-year thing for me. He is a lease, a 1-year lease for me. 2024 is Goody. Do what you want to do.
That's terrible.
He's got a lease. He earned it.
Well, I think he did earn it, and that's exactly why. Because I'm not going to lie, I like the offensive line pick, but I thought they were going to go with Barton, and I was shocked when they didn't. I'm not surprised that
he wasn't versatile enough, Brad. He can't play all 4 positions.
I guess so, but that's where it exactly comes into.
You're such a baby.
Trust
What do you mean?
isn't trust.
Facts. That's what it was.
Trust isn't trust until you have to go out on a limb a little bit, and so that exactly occurs when Goody does something that you don't agree with. So that's when you need to really flex that trust muscle and say, do I trust him or do I not? Because Goody had 0 second thoughts about this. I mean, that pick was in. And he had Barton available if he wanted to take him. So if you trust Goody, you should be happy with it.
And I guess when I look at this, right, I want to win championships. And I look at somebody who has a championship mentality. And we don't have this quarterback, but we have a guy he's ascending and going to be a really good quarterback in the NFL. The Kansas City Chiefs, they saw they had a problem. They saw that they had a wide receiver in Kadarius Toney who couldn't line up on sides. They had MVS who could barely catch a pass, and he was catching pass like he was a 4th grader catching in a bread basket with hands out like this.
But you can't compare the Kansas City Chiefs to what the Green Bay Packers are doing. I will, but it's going to be the same thing you've said all show.
The Kansas City Chiefs said, we have a problem. We don't have any receivers. And so what did they do? They didn't sit back and wait. They went up and got somebody because even though they are already a good football team, they saw a problem, and they solved it immediately by getting somebody that can help Patrick Mahomes be great. I just hope the Green Bay Packers take that exact same approach in the 2nd and the 3rd round, and they move up and get guys that can make an instant impact that they truly want and they feel that can elevate this football.
What Kyle did admit to us is that he has swings, and he is emotional, and he goes, a little bit back and forth. And what I look forward to is for Goody to prove Kyle wrong and thinking he's not going to be able to do what he needs to do with the capital he has in the 2nd and 3rd round coming up in Friday's draft tonight. So let's go to John in West Bend because I'm intrigued by this.
Hey, guys, thanks for taking my call.
Yes, sir.
Goody was doing a good job with the prima donna, was he not? I mean, he was putting him in NFC Championship games. It's not like he's only had one good year.
Well,
why do we not trust this guy?
He hit a couple of guys, but missed on a lot in 2020, the year that they came off of a 2019 NFC Championship game, in which they weren't ready to win a Super Bowl, but that was an opportunity where they went Love, Dillon, DeGuara, and nobody else from that 2020 draft is still on the roster.
Yeah, and most of the guys that were the marquee dudes on those teams were Ted Thompson guys.
Correct.
I still think he's been doing a good job. We're the youngest team. I'm sorry, the Packers are the youngest team in the NFL. They did great last year compared to how the youngest team in the NFL usually does, and I think it's only going to be better this year.
All right,
I mean
like
that's true. I mean that is
there you
true
go,
of
John.
Goody, is that he put together an incredibly talented young team that had success earlier than we all thought.
Yeah,
so that is true of Goody.
I just look. 2023. I'm still not sold on 22. Josh DiMaggio back in my personal talking text line. I need more time on 22.
Why is that?
Go ahead, Strophe. You got something for me?
Yeah, but it's gonna really ruin your Friday.
What?
Oh, is Chris Middleton out?
No, it's not Chris Middleton, and I don't know what I did with the breaking news sounder, so I'm not going to play it. From Adam McCalvey, Wade Miley needs Tommy John.
No!
Season's over.
Oh! No!
I found the button, by the way.
Oh, no, the career's over.
No!
Oh, baby, now this is some breaking news.
I can't speak.
That was real heartbreak I just witnessed.
That is heartbreak.
That I felt like you were just told something
I
personally
lost a family
hurtful.
member.
Sure did.
From the McCalvey tweet, the 37-year-old left-handed pitcher needs Tommy John. He'll spend the next 10 to 12 months rehabbing and then decide whether or not to continue his career.
Hire him.
Oh, no.
Hire him as
like
what?
Here?
Advisor to the pitching coach.
Oh, you mean for the Brewers?
Yes. I don't want Wade Miley leaving the Brewers organization.
What about KBNM?
Wade Miley for any of you two dinguses. I'll trade both your asses for Wade Miley.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, wow.
Hey, it's just like
that's how I feel. I lost a family
I'm
member.
the one with the emotional swings. My goodness, he just fired us.
Wade?
Now I'm hurt.
Oh, this ain't about you. It's about Wade. Don't take that too personal, guys.
No.
I'm emotional.
The
Take it
fact
personal.
that it might end his career. I mean, he's an old guy when it comes to baseball, but that is actually heartbreaking.
That is tough.
I could fall to the floor.
Why don't you give us one good Wade Miley, though?
I don't know if I can.
You got it in you, Ben?
Wade Miley.
You know, I know.
Wade Miley.
I'm not gonna lie. Like, I hope Wade. You know, I wish him the best. But boy, oh boy, there's other things you could have said worse for the Packers or the Bucks.
No, you don't understand.
So I feel
That's
bad
my
for
guy.
Wade. I love Wade.
No, I love Wade. Kyle, give me a break.
Well, yeah. I mean, I guess I won't be putting Wade Miley on my underdog fantasy picks today.
Don't bury him.
Hey,
Buddy.
he'll be back. Hopefully, he'll be back. But make sure you make your underdog fantasy picks today. It is so fun with the playoffs in high gear and baseball season in high gear. You need to make your game watching experience enhanced by playing the Underdog Fantasy Sports app. This is what I need you to do. I need you to go to the App Store. Download the Underdog Fantasy Sports app or go to UnderdogFantasySports.com. Yes, that's UnderdogFantasy.com, and you can play Underdog Fantasy. And when you do this, when you make your picks, select higher or lower on 2 to 5 players, and if your picks hit, guess what? You can win up to 100 times your money. Yes, 100 times your money. It is so fun to play, entertaining to watch, and you got to get in the game. And when you download that app, make sure you use promo code KBN. Yes, promo code KBN, and Underdog will match your first deposit up to $100. Plus, they'll give you a mystery special pick to use on your first Pick'em entry. That's promo code KBN, and join me and get the Underdog Fantasy Sports app today. Must be 18 plus and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
I might shed a tear in the break.
This is Kyle Brust and Nortman.
I'm about being young, wild, and free.
No, you're not.
You're
not young, wild, and free.
Yeah,
I am young.
You're not that.
I am
Every
wild.
time I ask you to do something, I check with a girlfriend.
Wait, why are you taking so, why you going personal? Why you gotta talk about business? I can still be free with a lady.
On ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
It's ESPN Wisconsin's Ben Brust for Road America, America's National Park of Speed. Make the most out of your summer at Road America, located conveniently between Green Bay, Milwaukee, and Madison in Elkhart Lake. Come see a race at the legendary 4-mile, 14-turn road course. Camp on site all weekend and enjoy free admission for kids 16 and under with a paying adult at the gate. Make sure you get tickets for the NTT IndyCar Series race at Road America June 6th through the 9th. Come for the experience and stay for the race. Get your tickets at roadamerica.com.
Your Honda gets you everywhere. When it needs service, you need Zimbrick Honda service. Their customer service is second to none, and you can experience it yourself at 2 convenient Madison locations on Fish Hatchery Road and Grand Canyon Drive. Honda certified technicians handle it all. You can even get flexible payment options. Fix your car now and pay later. Apply online to see your options in seconds with no hard credit check. Make your service appointment online at ZimbrickHonda.com. Zimbrick Honda Service Center on Fish Hatchery Road and Grand Canyon Drive. Part of the Madison community since 1973. Shop Zimbrick Honda.
Attention business owners and executives. Looking for a bank that's invested in your community as you are? Look no further than Starion Bank. As a Dane County community bank, Starion offers competitive deposit and loan rates while actively supporting local initiatives. Visit a business banker at one of our convenient branches in Middleton, Monona, and Sun Prairie. Starion Bank, full-service business banking, lending, and cash management.
Ben Brust here from Kyle Brust and Nortman and tell you about the newest spike tee on the market, and that is Hoop Tee. And when I mean that it's the newest and best, it was born on the boardwalk of Ocean City, Maryland, and enjoyed now right here in Madison, Wisconsin. With flavors like an original spike tee. You have peach, you have mango, you have watermelon. Hoop Tee will make you feeling great with whatever flavor fits your profile. Hoop Tee. Enjoy the hoops on the screen and hoops in your hand. HoopTee.com. Must be 21 years or older to enjoy.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
What's Vegas Midwest?
Madison, where I went to college, is very fun. You know that, Smalls. You've been there.
It's not Madison.
It's not Madison. Madison is a college town. You love Madison.
I love Madison. It is not Las Vegas. It is not Central Vegas.
Is there no Central Vegas then?
Unsportsmanlike. Weekdays from 5 to 9 on 100.5 ESPN.
As you're putting your spring calendar together, we'd love to have you join us Saturday, May 18th for Mark Osiki's 6th annual Casting for Kids Fishing Tournament to support the American Family Children's Hospital, UW Carbone Cancer Center. We're on the Madison Chain of Lakes early, then back at the Alliant Energy Center for 2:30 happy hour, dinner, and live and silent auctions with cool autographed hockey items, guided tours, and a brand new fishing boat. There's even more on our website, castingforkids.org. Help us help the kids, castingforkids.org.
To those who've ever dreamt of their perfect event, those dreams are worthy and they are possible. Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment. With hard work, passion, and great music, we will make your event dreams a reality. Every event is a labor of love with one-on-one planning, customization, and flawless execution. Bringing your event to life is what we do. For a fun, memorable event, visit celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
Hey Badgers, spring is right around the corner and so is the annual Crazy Legs Classic. Register today for the 8K run or 2-mile walk on April 27th and celebrate 175 years of UW-Madison. The Crazy Legs Classic is presented by J.D. McCormick Properties, Odyssey Greek Yogurt, Mueller Sports Medicine, and WMTV 15. For more information and to register, visit crazylegsclassic.com. That's crazylegsclassic.com.
You're listening to Kyle Brust and Nortman on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
You're listening to 100.5 ESPN, the ESPN app, and Wisconsin On Demand.
Wade Miley needs Tommy John. Season's over.
Oh, no. Per Adam McCalvey, my favorite player ever to put on a Milwaukee Brewers uniform, Wade Miley, is out with Tommy John surgery. Wade says he wanted to go out on his own terms. Says he feels like he still has some left in the tank. But I do have my doubts that my favorite player at age 37, who throws no faster than 89 after Tommy John, might not be able to make this comeback. Can I have a moment of silence, please? Thank you. The Green Bay Packers selected 25, Jordan Morgan. The Milwaukee Bucks play at 4:30. And I can't keep myself together. I don't think you guys understand how much he means to me.
No, I don't.
In 2018, he was unbelievable.
Yeah,
and then we brought him back, and you give him 5 innings, and he'll get you 5.
Yeah.
And then we've had the back-end bullpen to carry us. We paid him $8.5 million, and he's hurt. That sucks, by the way.
Yeah, that does.
8.5, and then we got Woody gone, Wade gone.
Yeah.
DL's on the injured
on
list.
On the DL or IL.
Anyway.
Yeah, we're learning how painful this actually is.
I'm telling you, I can't run the show right now.
What are we supposed to be doing next? Is KBN Academy?
I don't know.
Strophe,
help.
So if you're the producer, are we going to KBN Academy?
No, we don't have time. We're getting to Jim Rutledge in like 4 minutes. So,
gosh, I don't even want to talk to Jim Rutledge like that.
So on top of the pain.
Yeah, now we're going to talk about how well the Bears did last night. So in the meantime, Ben, if you can do it, why don't you tell us about your friends over at Potawatomi?
How about Palermo's?
Do you have enough energy for that?
Yeah.
Come on,
well,
that was a pick-me-up.
Well, they're going to be my comfort food. I'm literally going to have 4 Palermo's pizzas tonight in honor of Wade Miley. Oh, the best pizza in the world. Thin and crispy, tavern style, OG Screamins, 2.5 feet of stuffed crust cheese. You got the Bestie's Revenge, which is the best cheese pizza in the world. The Holy Pepperoni speaks for itself. The Ultimate Deluxe, the Supremus Maximus, the Boss Hog, and my favorite. I'm going to have 8 of these. The Mambo Italiano.
Mambo.
Taste what all the screaming's about, or crying, whichever way you want to look at it. Wade Miley to the injured list. Now, the Chicago Bears, I don't want to spend too much breath on them because they are the Bears, but they have a good defense. They did get better at the offensive line position. They revamped it a little bit. And they have weapons. Look, I'll tell you what right now. Honest to God, on paper, Keenan Allen, DJ Moore in Rome.
Yeah, that's good.
That might be the best 3 wide receivers in the NFL.
And Cole, I mean, he's a
Komet solid.
but he's not
they
terrible.
picked up Gerald Everett from the Chargers.
They got some bodies.
Swift is a serviceable
Cole Komet
running
solid.
back. I'm sad. I don't even like seeing.
Just us for a minute. Just us.
Yeah, go ahead.
The Bears are going to be good next year.
I think they might.
I mean, we'll see. We'll see.
They can always Bears it.
No, they could.
They can always Bears it.
It comes down to Caleb Williams, and will
does.
Caleb Williams be ready for the moment? We'll definitely see. I'm sure Mr. Rutledge is going to believe that Caleb Williams is the next coming of MJ, as Cap did before, but we're going to see. The Bears could still Bears it. Keenan Allen, though he is great, he's going to be going downhill. DJ Moore is a good receiver, but we'll see what he can do. And Rome Aduzie?
I don't even know.
Odunze?
Odunze?
A couple syllables.
How am I supposed to trust that Kyle watched film on Jordan Morgan?
I'm sorry, I can't say Rome
Just because he has
Aduze's
has 2 first names and 2 last names, as somebody pointed out earlier.
Captain Jordan Morgan. Captain Morgan.
Now, this is Kyle's best thing so far. If the Packers somehow end up with Kool-Aid and have Captain Jordan Morgan, little Captain Kool-Aid.
Captain Kool-Aid?
Captain and Kool-Aid.
That's so good.
I don't know if I want Kool-Aid.
Was that your joke, Strofe?
That was Strofe's joke, but I don't.
Yeah, you dork.
I don't think
Cite your sources.
After hearing the way Bulaga said Kool-Aid, I don't know.
You think them Wisconsin folks are going to be taking advantage of the
Go Kool-Aid?
My favorite player is Kool-Aid.
Kool-Aid, like with ha. Kool-Aid is a little bit too. It's gonna be interesting. Say it again.
Go Kool-Aid.
Let's get to the obnoxious, the annoying Jim Rutledge of Rutledge and Hamilton next.
This is Kyle Brust and Nortman, KBN.
You said they are a reflection of their head coach.
Yes, he's soft, as he proved with you by signing that damn jersey you had on. You think Campbell would have signed that jersey?
On ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Alex Strofe.
Varsity on Wisconsin On Demand is home to all the latest and best Badgers content on ESPN Wisconsin. Subscribe on Apple, Spotify, Wisconsin On Demand, and wherever you get your podcasts. As the conversation about the NCAA transfer portal and name, image, likeness erupts, Wisconsin men's basketball head coach Greg Gard joined Wilde and Tausch this week to talk about the ongoing issues.
We've got to figure out the best path going forward nationally to put ourselves in the best position where there is it revenue sharing? I don't know what the answer is. Nobody has the answer. That's why we're sitting here in this position.
Find the full conversation with Greg Gard on Wisconsin On Demand or wherever you get your podcasts. Just search Wilde and Tausch.
Get 0% interest for up to 36 months, or no down payment, no interest, and no payments for up to 18 months. Book before April 30th at PellaWI.com.
Hey, Drew Scott here, and I'm Jonathan Scott, reminding you that life's better with a home policy from American Family Insurance. They can help you get just the right protection at just the right price and help you save when you bundle home and auto. Kind of like Goldilocks and the Three Bears. It'll be just right for you. We love a custom build. American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
It's Chevy truck season, and there's no better time to do what you do best. No better time to get the job done in a Chevy Silverado with best-in-class standard torque and a TurboMax engine with a 5-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty that outlasts both Ford and Ram. So kick off whatever your thing is season right, because it all starts with a Chevy truck.
See your Badgerland Chevy dealer today.
Based on latest competitive data, excludes other GM vehicles, whichever comes first. See dealer for limited warranty details based on Ford and Ram 5-year, 60,000-mile warranty on gasoline engines.
LabCorp Clinical Trials is changing to a new name, Fortrea. While the name may be different, Fortrea combines decades of great experience and professionalism with new opportunities for clinical trial participation. It's more than a mission and more than a new name. Fortrea is dedicated to moving healthcare forward. To learn more about the future of healthcare and upcoming clinical trials, visit us at FortreaClinicalTrials.com. That's FORTREA clinicaltrials.com.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Lowe's knows pros need the right tools for every job. That's why we sell the largest in-store selection of Klein tools anywhere. Find new items launching exclusively at Lowe's, like the self-leveling laser level for just $159.98. Plus, shop the Connect socket set for just $49.98. Get Klein tools in-store and online today. Because Lowe's knows tools. Lowe's knows pros.
Listen to Madison Money Guy every Saturday morning at 7 a.m. on 100.5 ESPN and ESPNWisconsin.com.
I like to refer to inflation as the silent killer. It's an invisible risk. It's just the idea that things get more expensive over time. You're going to need milk and eggs when you're in your early 60s and when you're in your early 80s. You're going to get a loaf of bread, and it's going to be more expensive 20 years from now.
Christian Finfrock is the Madison Money Guy. Call him today at 208-1800.
This is Kyle, Brust, and Nortman, sponsored by Bud Light on ESPN Wisconsin and Wisconsin On Demand. You're listening to 100.5 ESPN, the ESPN app, and Wisconsin On Demand.
Still suck. The Bears still suck. The Bears still suck.
Hey,
the Bears still
they suck until they don't. And they suck. They can't beat the Packers until they do, but they haven't. Ben Brust, Kyle Wallace, Brad Nortman, Alex Strofe, our new producer. Making it about himself, being needy, as Jim Rutledge would call him. And speaking of which, Jim Rutledge, the second delusional Bears fan. Well, we have David Kaplan of ESPN 1000. We have Jim Rutledge of 100.5 ESPN. We have Jonathan Brust, my delusional brother, living in the South. And a couple of KBN Nation fans. And we welcome Jim in. Jim, how are you?
Yeah, I'm fantastic. How would I not be?
Because winning in April doesn't mean anything.
You're right. But, I mean, if you're going to be a serious person at all, you know the Bears have drastically improved their roster from a 7-win team last year. Now, does that mean they're going to knock the Packers off in year one? No. But I'm going to borrow from Kyle Wallace's unbridled optimism for Jordan Love last year. There's no reason I shouldn't be able to have that for Caleb Williams, the universal, not only best quarterback in this draft, universally viewed as the best prospect in this draft, added to a team that's added a lot of pieces around him and has changed up their entire offensive coaching staff. Does that guarantee success? No, but it does guarantee the Bears are setting him up for success.
Jim, no prospect is perfect. There's pros and cons, things that you're excited about, things you're worried about. Caleb Williams is no exception. What are you worried about with Caleb Williams?
Good question, Bradley.
Well, that's a good question, and it's really going to be, I think, the habits he would have picked up last year, because last year's team at USC, by all accounts, was devoid
What about
of
the
a lot of
damn
talent.
habits with the franchise that doesn't have one 4,000-yard passer?
All right, well, I'm talking about, look, if Caleb Williams doesn't work out, maybe the franchise is cursed, and that'll be it, but every franchise didn't have a quarterback until they got a quarterback. I would say that he played off schedule a lot last year, and maybe he picked up bad habits trying to be a hero, and he has to kind of rein those in. He was better at that 2 years ago, so I'm optimistic, but I would say that the habits of him trying to make the home run play every single play and not taking the layups, I think that is a real concern that's going to have to be coached out of him, because I think he picked up those habits at USC last year when the team had him running for his life a lot of games.
What is it about this draft here when you look at the Green Bay Packers? What would the Packers need to do in order to make you feel like, oh, crap, the Packers got better?
Well, I mean, they already are good. So I'm not sitting here saying that, this draft, the Packers have the privilege of not necessarily needing to make a pick here that says, oh, this is going to change the franchise. They are moving in the right direction. That being said, I do think that they have some more holes than maybe fans want to acknowledge, because you could look at Jacksonville from 2 years ago when Trevor Lawrence took his team to the playoffs, had a breakout season. They won the playoffs. Last year they decided we're going to run back with all these young players, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to make the playoffs again and get better. And Jacksonville kind of just stayed the same. So there's a concern like that. I would imagine it's fair for the Packers. But I would say today, the picks today, I think Newton from Illinois is a beast. And I think that he would be a guy for the Packers that would be a game changer. I actually like Kool-Aid McKinstry more than I like Cooper DeJean. I do think I think Cooper is a little bit a risk because he could be a jack of all trades, or he could just be a master of none. I do like Jackson Powers Johnson for the Packers as well.
We bring
in
in two delusional fans at once. Jonathan Brust and Jim Rutledge on the line at the same time. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Hey, Rutledge, happy birthday.
It is a big day. It is a very good Bears day because not only did the Bears add Caleb Williams, they added Rome Odunze, viewed as the, sixth best prospect in this draft. So they got the number 1 and 6 overall best prospects in this draft. It's pretty good. It's a good time to be a Bears fan.
I mean, let's think
Absolutely.
About it. Not only did we fleece the Panthers, I don't know what the Falcons were thinking by picking Michael Penix. That is hysterical. Kaplan's not on. You can't do that clown noise then.
No, you got all clowns until you beat us.
No, you are clowns.
What, Jim?
We got about 12 months until Cap and me and your brother will be very happy.
What color are your nails painted
You know
today?
what, Jim? Here's the real question. We all know that Ben is going to come back next season and say, hey, Jim, hey, JV, guess what? I'm a Bears fan again.
You know, I'm glad you said that because I feel bad giving him a hard time. I honestly think Caleb's the pick that brings Ben back home.
You won't find me dead in blue and orange in my life.
All right, we don't need to argue the colors because the green and yellow is objectively
I don't even want
horrendous.
Jonathan on here. He doesn't bring any value.
There's
dumped.
There's still more to the draft. But who has more wins next year, the Packers or the Bears?
Ooh, that's a good question. You know what? I'll just go on a limb. I'm gonna go with the Bears because they're gonna play the third place schedule. Packers have a tougher schedule. They caught a few breaks last year. I honestly think
Rutledge, I'm so disappointed with you right now.
Yeah.
You are such a lame. You land Williams, Odunze, and here you go, coming on here, setting your expectations low and not having a fun time with it. You're a classic.
No, I am. I said the Bears.
Yeah,
I said the Bears.
I
I said the Bears have a better record.
I know, but it's still not like they're going to make the playoffs. They're going to make a run. Caleb Williams is going to be better than Jordan Love. You have a chance to say something with, like, real substance, not just having a better record.
You're not setting me up for it. Brad's asking me sensible questions. Kyle's asking me sensible questions. If you want me to go, yes. In 3 years, the Packers are in trouble.
Say something stupid.
It's not stupid. I'll say something factual that Caleb Williams will have a better career than Jordan Love, and I'm not even remotely concerned about it. I think in 2 years, Caleb Williams will be the class of the NFC North, and I think in 3 years he will be an MVP. I think Caleb Williams is going to be.
So how will the Bears mess this up like they always do? Because I mean, like, what are you preparing?
They're not going to. If it's going to be messed up, it's going to be Caleb. Look, their receiver room is unquestionably outstanding, including their tight ends. Their running backs are outstanding. The offensive line is, I would say, above average, but needs work. Their defense was top 10 last year and top 5 after added Montez Sweat. So, like, honestly, you guys should be begging me to tell you why the Packers would be better than the Bears, because right now the Bears have solved their quarterback problem, and they're not even concerned with the Packers anymore.
There it is.
Detroit.
Mark that.
Detroit is the NFC North. Detroit's the king of the North.
Mark that.
Chicago's shooting for Detroit. Why are we shooting for second place?
Mark that. Love it, Jim.
The Bears are supposed to be afraid of a wild card team.
Finally, we got some good substance
their way
out of
into
you
the
there.
playoffs.
Fade
That's
him
what
out so
I'm
I can
supposed
talk
to be
about
afraid
Pato.
of. They were
There's Jim Rutledge, the clown. Potawatomi Casino Hotel. If Jim's gonna put his money where his mouth is, go to Potawatomi Sportsbook. Place a future on the Bears to actually beat the Packers. Don't just put your talk behind it. Talk is cheap. Money's real. Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Sportsbook opening May 3rd. We'll be back in 2 minutes. In Madison, you got Bucks basketball. We're here on 94.5 ESPN. Bears still suck. Woo! Hey, this is Ben Brust from Kyle Brust and Nortman on ESPN Wisconsin. People can't stop screaming about the Screamin' Sicilian frozen pizza, and no wonder. There's plenty to scream about, like the buttery stone-fired crust, secret recipe tomato sauce, mounds of whole milk mozzarella, and tons of premium toppings. Find Screamin' Sicilian